Welcome to Easy Learning Z. The future is bright. In this video, I'm going to revise with you the paper that the grade 9 external for 2024 wrote. So please stay tuned. Watch this video up to the end as I'm going to give you explanations and correct answers for each question that came in this paper. So this is the paper that came for grade 9s. As you can see, it's written external cadence. So this is what they wrote, the grade 9 2024 external cadence. So the question was taking about 2 hours 30 minutes and it had 80 marks. Okay, so it had 80 marks. The 20 marks is in the practical work that was done, that I presume you internal cadence you have already done, and I'm sure the marks have been submitted. Okay, you may not know whether it has been submitted or not, but trust me, your teacher and the school have already submitted your marks for this practical you wrote. So please don't worry, I'm sure they come 3 of them, so I'm sure you have written all the 3 practical exams. So now we are going to give you answers. We are going to revise together this paper which they wrote, which is carrying 80 marks. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you find this video helpful, remember to like and share. Remember, sharing is caring. So please, we'll be encouraged if we see you subscribe and you share our video. We'll be encouraged to make more videos. Remember, Easy Learning Z, the future is bright. We are just dedicated to make your academic work simple. So please, if you have got questions, please continue asking in the comment section. As you do, we will try our best to respond to all the questions. However, sometimes I have to make this known to you that sometimes there are plenty of questions that we receive and we take in interest to answer them. And so if your comment is not answered as soon as possible, please, we are not taking you for granted. We really appreciate your effort and the contribution you are making to Easy Learning Z platform. Please make sure, don't feel discouraged. We'll keep on answering your questions. Sometimes they overwhelm us. There are a lot of questions that are asked in each day that maybe if I sit down to answer them with my team, sometimes we don't end up finishing all the comments. So please don't be discouraged asking questions. We'll try our best to answer all the questions. With that being said, let's go into the video. Okay, we come to the instructions of this section, which is section A. The instructions are as follows. Section A has 20 marks. You should know that it has 20 marks. So the instructions are as follows. Answer all the questions. Okay, you answer all the questions. There's no question that you are going to skip. You answer all the questions. And then the next instruction is mark your answers with a cross on the answer grid provided in the answer booklet. This is the song that I usually sing in every video I make. Please make sure to mark your answers in the answer booklet, not on the answer sheet. Please don't mark your answer on the answer. Don't mark your answer on the question paper. Mark your answer on the answer booklet. So you write your answers in the answer sheet that is provided in form of answer booklet. Don't write your answer on the question paper, please. I hope this is clear. So this is the instruction that is given to me. However, for me, during this revision, I'm going to mark my answers on the question paper. Please, I'm going to mark my answers on the question paper. But this is not what you do in an exam. As a cadent, you write your answers in the answer booklet on the grid provided. So every booklet will be marked by will have provision for each question. So please make sure you write your answer in the answer booklet on the provision provided in the answer booklet. Okay, let's go to answering the questions. Question 1 was as follows. The diagram shows parts of the female reproductive system and urinary tract. So what you need to do is you need to start the diagram. Once you have studied the diagram, then we need to go to the actual questions. But before I go to the actual questions, I want you to stay with me as we name these parts. First we name the parts, then we go to the actual questions. This is what we do always. So we come to we come to number one that is oviduct, number 2 that is uterus, number 3 that is cervix, number 4 that is urethra. Okay, so number 1 is oviduct, number 2 is uterus, number 3 is cervix, number 4 is urethra. Okay, so these are the parts that are here. Now the question is, what are the names of the labeled structure? What are the names of the labeled structure? So it's easier. We have already named them. So we just have to go on the answers and see which one is correct. So when we say 2 is cervix on A, that is not correct. 2 is uterus. So again on B, they are saying it's cervix. Uterus is cervix. No, that's not correct. Answer C, which is 3, they are saying cervix is 3, correct, and 1 is oviduct, correct, 4 that is urethra, correct, and 2 that is uterus, that is correct. So the one that has a correct answer is C. So for the correct answer for question 1 is C. Question 2 is as follows. The following is a list of some of the activities that take place in the process of human reproduction. The following is a list of some of the activities that take place in the process of human reproduction. 1. Fusion of the sperm and ovary. 2. Sexual intercourse. 3. Formation of zygote. 4. Attachment of zygote to uterus. Which of the following shows the correct order of how these activities happen? Which of the following shows the correct order of how these activities happen? Okay, so here we have got answers, which are options. We have A, which is starting with 2. Now, as usual, we are going to focus on the first column of numbers. Okay, so when we look at the numbers, we have got A, which has 2. 2 is saying first what happens is sexual intercourse, so meaning having sex. Yes, that is always there. That's where it starts from. If you want to conceive, if you want to have a child, you start with having sex. Okay, 1, that means fusion of sperm and ovary. No, this might be the second step. Okay, so you know that it doesn't start from there where the sperm meets the egg and then they become one, like fertilization take place. That's not what happens first. Then 2, we said 2 is the first step, having sex, sexual intercourse. D, that is 1, fusion of, no, that is not correct. So we remove B and C, then the competition remains with A and C. We remove B and D, we remain with A and C. Okay, then C, we talk about A. In the second column, we have got 1, which is 1 as fusion of sperm and fertilization taking place, yes, and C is the same. So we go on column 3, which is 3 and 4. So 3 is saying formation of zygote, yes, that is true. From there, the formation of zygote. 4, attachment of zygote to uterus, no. So C again is out. So we have remained with A. So the correct answer is A. Okay, so basically that's how you can find the correct answer, like that. Okay, if you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Question 3 was as follows. Anemia is a nutritional deficiency disease caused by lack of dash in a diet. Anemia is a nutritional deficiency disease caused by lack of dash in a diet. So the correct answer is B. When you're lacking iron in your diet, you're going to suffer from anemia. So anemia is the correct, B is the correct answer, as iron cause anemia. Question 4 was as follows. Which pair shows correctly the cause of pollution by humans and by nature to the environment. Which pair shows correctly the cause of pollution by humans and by nature to the environment? Okay, so we have the first column, which has caused by human, and the second column caused by nature. So we have A, burning fossil fuel. Is that done by humans? Yes. Volcano eruption, that is nature. No human is in charge of volcano eruption. Volcano eruption. No human is in charge of volcano eruption. Volcano eruption, that is nature. Okay, so we can see that A has both correct answers. So if you're in an exam, don't waste time going to other options. Right? So for revision sake, I'll go through all the options, but the correct answer is A. Okay, straight away, burning fossil fuel like petrol, diesel, and causing smoke, releasing smoke into the atmosphere. That is human activity. But volcano eruption, that is nature. B, forest fires. Okay, yes, forest fires. Yeah. Industrial emission, that is human. So here what has made the answer to be wrong is industrial emission, which is on the side of caused by nature. C, pollen dispersal, that is natural cause. Waste from mining, that is human nature. So they have swapped these two. D, wind illusion, that is natural. Incinerators, plants, that is human. So these again they have swapped. So the correct answer is A. Okay. Okay, question 5 was as follows. The following diagram shows some of the basic structures of a plant. Basic structures of a plant. Okay, so before we go any further, let's start the diagram. Once we have studied the diagram, then we can go ahead and name these parts that are labeled 1 up to 4. So let's start with 1. What is 1? 1 is cytoplasm. 2, that is cell wall. 3, that is nucleus. 4, that is chloroplast. Okay, those are the parts that are labeled there. So the actual question is, which labeled part shows the structure which controls all activities in the cell? Okay, which labeled part shows the structure which controls all activities in the cell? So the activities of the cell, both animal and plant cell, are controlled by nucleus. So the number which represent nucleus is 3. So the correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Question 6 is as follows. The diagrams shows a germinating seed. Okay, we can take time and start the diagrams. So we have got start and after some weeks. Okay, so to understand this, first of all, we need to name these parts which are labeled by numbers. So we have got 1 in the diagram where it's start, where it's written start. We have got 1 which is shoot, 2 which is root. Then after some weeks, we have got that part which is labeled 1 is shoot, and which is labeled 2 is root. Now, for us to understand, we should know that at the beginning, the root and the shoot were just lying horizontally. Okay, after some weeks, the shoot started going upwards and the root started going downwards. Okay, that's what we should understand. Now the actual question is, what term is given to the response made by parts 1 and 2? Okay, parts 1 and 2. So 1 is shoot, 2 is root. So we start with the A, which is positive. That means 1, which is after some weeks. 1 is going up and saying positive geotropism. That's not correct. Okay, geotropism, if it was positive geotropism, it was supposed to be going downwards, responding towards the earth center. Okay, so that one is not correct. So definitely immediately we see one is not correct, there is no bother even to go to number 2, which is saying negative geotropism. Again, it's not correct, meaning here the answers have been swapped. If they were put vice versa, then the answers could have been correct. If positive geotropism was on 2 and negative geotropism was on 1, then it could have been correct. So here the answers are swapped. We come to B, which is saying negative phototropism. Negative phototropism, that is going downwards, okay, not going towards right. Photo light, not going upwards. So 1 is going upwards. If it was positive phototropism, then it could have been correct. Then again here, the same thing has happened. This is where they did on top, they have just swapped the answers. So B is not also correct. C, negative geotropism. Yes, 1 that is negative geotropism, it's going towards the sunlight upwards against the force of the earth, the pulling down of the earth, that is. So it is correct, C. So we're saying 1 is negative geotropism, yes. 2, positive geotropism, yes. So there C is the correct answer. However, let's check D for revision's sake. D is negative geotropism, yes, that is correct. Negative geotropism on 2, that is wrong. Okay, it should be positive geotropism. So the correct answer is C. If you have got questions, please don't forget to ask in the comment section, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Question 7 was as follows. When sugar is put in water, it forms a mixture. Which of the following identifies this statement in terms of solute, solvent and solution? Let me read through. I think I didn't pause on the full stop there. When sugar is put in water, it forms a mixture. Which of the following identifies this statement in terms of solute, solvent and solution? Now remember, solute is something that dissolves in solvent. So solute, like if you have sugar, sugar is solute. Then solvent, if we have water, that is water, wherever something is dissolving in. And solution is what is formed when we combine a solute and a solvent. Okay, so solute, that is sugar, solvent, that is water, then solution, that is water plus sugar or sugar plus water. So A is the correct answer. Okay, then B, they have swapped sugar and water. Okay, so that's why it's wrong. So I'm sure you're able to see where it has gone wrong. And C, just putting sugar and water on solute, that is not true. Okay, so they have swapped water and sugar, water plus sugar with sugar. Then water, sugar, they have swapped water and sugar. That's why D is also wrong. So basically the correct answer is A. Okay. Okay, question 8 was as follows. The diagram shows an experiment on density of a solid block P. The diagram shows an experiment on density of a solid block P. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go to the diagram and start the diagram. So the details that you need to pay attention to are 1, 4.0 centimeter, 5.0 centimeter, and 2.0 centimeter. Okay, so you can even read these dimensions as 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter, and 2 centimeter. You can ignore 0.0. Okay, even if you ignore 0.0, 4.0 is equal to 4. So when you say 4 and someone say 4.0, you have all said the same number with the same value. Okay, so in solving this question, I'm going to ignore 0.0. Okay, because this will just make the multiplication a bit complicated for you. Okay, so I'm going to ignore that, but we're going to get the same answer you can get even if you include 0.0. Okay, now with that out of the way, we can go now to the actual question. So the actual question is, if the block has a mass of 80 grams. What is its density in grams centimeter cubic? If the block has a mass of 80 grams, what is its density in grams centimeter cubic? Okay, so for us to find the density of this block, first we're going to come up with a formula, which is density is equal to mass over volume. Okay, so that is the formula for density. Now let's go to the question and check if we have got the mass given. Okay, so when you look at the statement on top and the question, the actual question here below, you'll find that the mass is given, which is the mass of 80 grams. So we're going to write, where there is mass, we're going to write 80 grams down here. Okay, now we come to volume. We want to find density, so we write the value of volume. Now when we look at volume, we are not given the actual volume. Instead, we have been given dimensions that can help us to find the volume, and those dimensions are 4.0 centimeter, 5.0 centimeter, and 2.0 centimeter. Okay, so what we're going to do now here, we're going to come up with a formula for volume. So its volume is, we write volume is equal to width times breadth times height. Now remember, I've just written this for your revision sake, but if you're in an exam, you can just say volume is equal to, then you come to the second stage. So you get, you can write these numbers in any order. You can just follow, you start from the left, you start with 4 centimeter times 5 centimeter times 2 centimeter. Okay, you can write in order, but for me, I've come up with this formula, so I'm going to follow this formula. So we're going to start with the width. I'll presume that the width is this one, 5 centimeter. So we're going to write 5 centimeter. We can take this one as a length or as a breadth, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we can say the width will be 5 centimeter, the breadth is going to be 4 centimeter, and the height is 2 centimeter. So we are going to multiply 5 centimeter times 4 centimeter times 2 centimeter. Now when we do the actual multiplication, we'll do it step by step. So we're going to have 5 centimeter times 4 centimeter will give us 20 centimeter squared. It's going to give us 20 centimeter squared times 2 centimeter, because we haven't evaluated 2 centimeter. So we've just evaluated 5 centimeter by 4 centimeter, which has given us 20 centimeter. Then we evaluate 20 centimeter squared times 2 centimeter will give us 40 centimeter cubic. Okay, so here when you're writing the final answer, what you can do is to know the power of the answer, you can just calculate, you can just count the number of units you have multiplied. Then if there are 3, then you write raise to the power of 3. That's how we have come up with 40 centimeter cubic. Okay, please, if you have got questions so far, you can ask in the comment section. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. Want to make your work easier, want to make you perform well, so please make sure you ask the question. Now we have found the value of the volume, which is 40 centimeter cubic. So we're going to write 80 grams over 40 centimeter cubic. Okay, now here what we're going to do is, now we're going to evaluate 80 divided by 40. We ignore the signs or the units, sorry, ignore the units first. So we're going to have 80 divided by 40, which will give us 2. Okay, now how do we write the signs? We start to, sorry, the units. How do we write the units? We start with the unit which is on top, which is grams. Then we write grams, then divide by or slash forward centimeter cubic. That is, means we start with a unit on top, then we finish with a unit down, like the way I've written here in my answer. Okay, so the density of the block P is 2 grams per centimeter cubic. Now, as you can see in our answers, they have left units, so we're just going to go with the answer which we got, which is 2. Now remember, I said when we write 2 and someone writes 2.0, these are the same numbers, they have the same value. So 2 grams per centimeter cubic is equal to 2.0, even if they haven't put the unit. So the correct answer is A. Please ask the questions in the comment section. If you have got questions, please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Please, we really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. We'll go to the next question. Question 9 was as follows. 2 small cocks of the same size were fixed using the same amount of wax on 2 metal plates, 1 and 2, made of the same material and placed equidistant from the heater as shown in the following diagram. Okay. 2 small cocks of the same size were fixed using the same amount of wax on 2 metal plates, 1 and 2, made of the same material and placed equidistant from the heater as shown in the following diagram. So start the diagram. Okay, so what you can see there, the distance is the same. The only difference is that the thickness of the metal is the only difference. Okay, the thickness of the metal, the metal plate 1 and metal plate 2. When you look at this, the thickness, they are different. So the question is, which of the following is the correct conclusion of the results of the experiment? So we start with A. Cock on metal 1 will drop first because the plate 1 is a better conductor than the metal plate 2. That's not correct. What we are told here, we are told that they are made of the same material, so there is no metal which is better conductor than the other. They have all the same characteristics, so that is not correct. B. Cock on plate 2 will drop first because it is near the heater than metal plate 1. Okay, here the distance, as we can see there on the diagram, is the same, so there is no way this point, okay, yeah, the cock on metal plate 2 will fall first, but the reason given of the distance is not true, because the distance, the metal plates are on the same distance from the heater. Okay, C. Cock on metal plate 2 will drop first because the metal plate 2 is thinner than the metal plate 1. That one is correct. That is the genuine reason why the cock on metal plate 2 will fall, because the metal plate 2 is thinner than the metal plate 1. D. For the sake of revision, we have found the answer, which is C. Now, for the sake of revision, let's go to D. We listen to the reason they are given and the answer given. Cock on metal plate 1 will drop first because the metal plate 1 is thicker than metal plate 2. No, that is not true. Now, if the metal is thicker, that means the heat has to travel a long distance to reach the wax. Okay, so by the time it will travel the same distance as the metal plate 2, that means the wax on metal plate 2 have started melting, but the metal plate on 1 will not start, the wax on metal plate 1 will not start melting because it has not, the heat hasn't reached the surface. So B, the reason given is not correct. However, the answer is correct. That sorry, the answer and the reason given is not correct on D. So the correct answer is C. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Question 10 is as follows. The following diagram shows an experiment on light. The following diagram shows an experiment on light. Okay, so we have got that. We can see the diagram, and then we have got incident ray, we have got normal, and we have got reflected ray. Okay, then we have got 1, 2, 3, and we have got X. So the question is, if the angle X is 60, what will be the value of the angle 1, 2, and 3? Okay, so here, remember the answer is refracted, refracted ray. So the reflected light will reflect at the same angle as it has struck. So since it has struck at 60 and angle 1 is 30 degrees. Remember the normal line there, that is 90 degrees. So that 1 will be 30. The same applies with it will refract at the same angle. That means 2 will be 30 and 3 will be 60. So the correct answer is A. The correct answer is A. Question 11 was as follows. The diagram shows a section of the human heart. The diagram shows a section of the human heart. Okay, so we can take time and look at the diagram and then start the parts of the diagrams. Before we go ahead and read the actual question, let's go through the parts that are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. So the chamber, now remember these are chambers that are labeled. So the chamber which is labeled 1 is right auricle or right atrium. Okay, right auricle or right atrium. Then number 2, that is right ventricle, right ventricle. Then number 3, that is left auricle or atrium. And then number 4, that is left ventricle. So these are the chambers of the heart. We know that the heart has got 4 chambers. Okay, now our next question is, the actual question is, which of the 4 numbered chambers of the human heart contains high concentration of deoxygenated blood? Which of the 4 numbered chambers of the human heart contains high concentration of deoxygenated blood? Okay, so here the question can also be phrased as the blood that has high carbon dioxide. Okay, because we know that the blood that comes from the part of the body has high carbon dioxide from the tissues. Okay, so the blood that comes from the body comes to the heart through and it reaches the right auricle. Then the right auricle pumps the blood into the right ventricle. So the correct answer is A, which is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 have 1 and 2. So these 2 chambers, they have got blood which is high in deoxygenated blood, which has high concentration of deoxygenated blood. Okay, so A is the correct answer. If you have got questions, please you can ask in the comment section. Otherwise, these are the 2 chambers that has high concentration of deoxygenated blood. So please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will be encouraged to make more videos as we see you people subscribing to our YouTube channel. The higher the number, the higher the confidence to make more videos, and that is an encouragement to us once we see the number of subscription going up. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Question 12 was as follows. Which of the following about tissue respiration in human being is correct? This is a chemical process in the cell in which A, glucose is formed. Now we're talking about respiration. Okay, glucose formed. B, energy is released from glucose. Yes, that is correct. Glucose formed, no, but energy is released from glucose. That is correct. C, carbon dioxide is used to release oxygen. No, oxygen is used to release carbon dioxide. D, carbon dioxide is used to release energy. No, carbon dioxide is not used. Instead, oxygen is used in respiration. So the correct answer is B. B is the correct answer. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you find this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. Please, you can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So we are on 4 platforms. Make sure you follow us on those 4 platforms. Question 13 was as follows. Which of the following sexually transmitted infections, STIs, are both caused by bacteria? Which of the following sexually transmitted infection, STIs, are both caused by bacteria? Okay, so genital warts and HIV and AIDS, no, these are caused by viruses. Gonorrhea and syphilis, yes. Okay, yes, those are correct answers. Those are bacterial infections, so we can even mark that one as a correct answer. However, for revision's sake, let's go to C. HIV and AIDS and gonorrhea. Gonorrhea, yes, is caused by bacteria. However, HIV and AIDS is caused by viruses. D. Syphilis and genital warts. So, syphilis, yes, is caused by bacteria. However, genital warts is caused by virus. So, those are the answers that are making the answers to be wrong. In D, genital warts is making the answers to be wrong. In C, HIV is making the answers to be wrong. And in A, both answers are making the answers to be wrong. The correct answer is B, gonorrhea and syphilis. Okay, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Question 14 was as follows. In the nitrogen cycle, lightning converts nitrogen gas to nitrates, which dissolves in rainwater and falls to the earth. This process is called A. Assimilation, B. Denitrification, C. Nitrification, D. Nitrogen fixation. Okay, so before we find the correct answer, let's define these terms. Let me start with the A. Assimilation. What is assimilation? Now, when I'm talking about assimilation here, I'm considering nitrogen assimilation. What is nitrogen assimilation? Okay, I know assimilation can have multiple meanings and can refer to many instances, but here we're talking about nitrogen assimilation. So, nitrogen assimilation is the conversion of nitrogen by living organism from its various form. Okay, that is nitrogen assimilation. Okay, B, what is denitrification? Denitrification of nitrogen is microbial process that changes nitrate into nitrogen gas, releasing it back into atmosphere. Okay, so this is the change of nitrate into nitrogen gas, releasing it back into atmosphere. That is denitrification. Okay, C, what is nitrification? Nitrification. Nitrification is the microbial process that converts ammonia or ammonium into nitrate. Okay, nitrification, that is a microbial process that converts ammonia or ammonium into nitrate. Okay, we come to D. What is nitrogen fixation? Nitrogen fixation is the process by which nitrogen from the atmosphere is converted into a usable form for living organism. Okay, so the nitrogen is in the atmosphere, then it is converted in a usable form converted into a usable form for living organism. Okay, so this process we have explained in D is similar to what is described in the question, where they are saying in the nitrogen cycle, lightning converts nitrogen gas to nitrates, which dissolves in rainwater and falls to the earth. This process is called, so this is nitrogen in the atmosphere, which the plants, remember when we talk about living things, don't think only about animals, even plants are living things. So plants cannot use nitrogen in the atmosphere, nitrogen gas in the atmosphere. Okay, so when there is a lightning, then nitrogen gas is converted into a usable form for the living organism. So nitrogen is converted into a form that can be used by a living organism. And then we are told it dissolves into the lands and then consumed by plants. So the correct answer is D. Please don't hesitate to ask questions if you have got questions, but the correct answer here is D. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel And I also urge you to follow us on Facebook, like our page. Facebook, we have the same name, Easy Learning zed-Mathematics, and we also have got grade 9 science, Easy Learning junior secondary science. We have that page. That's where we usually post science work or videos. So please make sure you follow us on those platforms so that we revise together, and I assure you are going to perform well in your exams. Okay. Question 15 is as follows. The following is the list of steps followed when testing for starch in a leaf. The following is the list of the steps followed when testing for starch in a leaf. 1. Add iodine solution to the leaf. 2. Place the leaf in a beaker of boiling water. 3. Put the leaf in alcohol over water bath. 4. Rinse the leaf in water to soften it. Okay, so these are the 4 steps. And then the actual question is, which of the following shows the correct sequence followed during this starch test? Which of the following shows the correct sequence followed during this starch test? Okay, so basically I'll give you a hint how you can go about this. So the first one, you check the numbers. Okay, you check the numbers. We have got the numbers 1 up to 4. Now you check the first numbers. Okay, so when you check the first numbers, if you find that from the first numbers all of them they are correct, then that means you can go and check on the second column. If the first column all the numbers are well arranged, then you can go to the second column. Now as you can see, when you look at the first column of these numbers, I'm sure you're able to see the first column, the one I've put in the box there. If we look at the first column, you see that the numbers are different. That means we can even identify the correct answer using the first column. So answer A, we have got 1, which is saying add iodine solution to the leaf. We don't start by adding iodine solution to the leaf when testing for starch. There are certain steps that you have to do before adding iodine solution. So A is not correct. When you come to B, which is 2, place the leaf in beaker of boiling water. Okay, that one we usually take that first step. Okay, then C, which has got 3, which is saying put the leaf in alcohol over water bath. No, that wouldn't be the first step. D, rinse the leaf in water to soften it. That is not also the first step. So already from just first column we're able to say the correct answer is B. Now for the sake of clarification and also learning, let's go to the second column. Now we go with B. We know A, C, D because we've already identified that these are not correct. So for us just to know the steps which you need to take as you test a leaf for starch, from first step, which is place the leaf in a beaker of boiling water. The second one is 3, put the leaf in alcohol over water bath. Okay, so over water bath. Now you have to, when you use alcohol, you need to use the water bath. Why? Because alcohol is very inflammable. Okay, if you're not careful, it can turn into a flame that can be even uncontrollable, or if not, it may even cause some accident to you as an individual or to the lab where you are. Okay, so that inconveniences is not needed. That's why we put it in the water bath. Then the next step is 4, rinse the leaf in water to soften it. Okay, so when you boil the water in the water bath in the alcohol, it may become brittle. When it becomes brittle, then you can use warm water to soften it, or you can put it in water to soften it, so that that brittleness can be dealt with or can be removed. Then the last one is, now after these processes, I'm sure the chlorophyll has been removed, and it has been removed in the alcohol. And then now what we have now, we have got a leaf that is white without chlorophyll. Then you can add iodine solution. So that is the first position, the first one which is put in the number 1 there. So 1 at the end is correct. So basically those are the steps that you take when testing a leaf for starch, and in that order. Okay, if you have got questions, if there is something that you need to contribute, please don't hesitate. I'm going to be grateful to hear from you. So the correct answer here is B. B is the correct answer. Question 16 was as follows. The diagram shows a setup used in an experiment on a plant. The diagram shows a setup used in an experiment on a plant. So we have got this diagram that you need to pay attention. Please make sure you study it. And once you have studied and you are able to take note of light, calibrated nano glass tube, airtight seal, that is lithote stand. Okay, so all those things, if you have taken note of that, then we can go ahead and answer the question that follows. The question is as follows. The process being demonstrated in this experiment is, so we have got A, inspiration, B, photosynthesis, C, respiration, D, transpiration. Okay, so here I'll try to explain briefly on these terms that are given. A, we have got inspiration. This is the exchange of gas, that is carbon dioxide and oxygen. Okay, so the intake of carbon dioxide by the plant and the release of oxygen, that is what is referred there as inspiration. B, photosynthesis. I'm sure you are very aware of photosynthesis, the process by which plants makes their own food. A process by which plants make their own food, that is photosynthesis. C, that is respiration. Respiration is the release of energy in the presence of oxygen. Okay, plants forming its own energy using or in the presence of oxygen, that is respiration. D, transpiration, that is the loss of water through the stomata in a plant, that is transpiration. Remember, here we're talking about a plant, not animals, but plants. So every definition I'm relating to plants. So in this question, you can see that there is carburated nano glass tube here, which has got leadings. So it's leading the level of water. Okay, so when we see that, the only thing that will affect the rate of water or the level of water in this calibrated nano glass tube is transpiration. So the correct answer is D. The correct answer is D. Okay, if you have got questions, please you can ask in the comment section, but basically that is the correct answer, D. Question 17 is as follows. Which of the following is the correct word equation for the reaction between calcium and water? Which of the following is the correct word equation for the reaction between calcium and water? Okay, so the possible answers are as follows. A, calcium plus water will give us calcium oxide plus nitrogen. Okay, so before we even talk about calcium oxide, we just talk about nitrogen. Where is nitrogen coming from? Okay, so nitrogen has made the answer A to be wrong. Okay, B, calcium plus water will give us calcium oxide plus oxygen. Okay, so now when you look at this answer, when we talk, first of all, let's talk about water in this answer so that we can see where the answer is wrong. Here in water there is hydrogen and oxygen, then they form water. These two elements. Now, when you look at the answer given, we are given calcium oxide plus water. Now, calcium oxide is formed by mixing calcium and oxygen. Then calcium oxide is formed. Then there is no hydrogen. There is no hydrogen here. There is no element of hydrogen. So where is hydrogen? So that's why the answer is wrong. I didn't talk about nitrogen there because already. Sorry, I didn't talk about hydrogen in A because already nitrogen was something wrong in that answer. Here, B, what is wrong here is there is no element of hydrogen. So the answer is wrong. C, calcium plus water is equal to hydroxide plus oxygen. Okay, so when calcium react with water, the gas that is formed is hydrogen and not oxygen. Okay, the gas that is formed is hydrogen, not oxygen. So that's why oxygen there is wrong. So even though calcium hydroxide is formed, yes, but the gas is hydrogen. So just the gas oxygen there has made the answer C to be wrong. So the correct answer is D, because in this answer, calcium hydroxide is formed, yes, and hydrogen is also formed, yes. So basically, the correct answer is D on question 17. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Question 18 was as follows. The following diagram is a partially constructed Lie diagram in an experiment on light. Okay, so you can take time and study the diagram. Okay, so we can see all the areas that are there, and then it's incomplete as it is said. So the question is, when the diagram is completed, what would be the nature of the image formed? When the diagram is completed, what will be the nature of the image formed? So basically what we need to do first is let's complete the diagram. Okay, so let's complete the diagram. We see where the image will be formed. Okay, so like that. So that line will extend like that, and that line will extend like that. Then the image will be formed here after F on the side of the object. Okay, so as you can see, the image that is formed is bigger than the object, and it's upright, as well as this one is not Leo, it's virtual. Okay, so the correct answer is which is D, which is the answer will be magnified, upright, and virtual. Okay, A, just the word diminished, meaning smaller than the object, that is not correct. Okay, that's not correct. And Leo is not Leo. Okay, now B, diminished, upside down, and virtual. Here what is making the answers to be wrong is upside down and diminished. C, magnified, upright, and Leo. Here the only thing that is making the answer to be wrong is Leo. The image that will be formed will be virtual, not Leo. So the correct answer is D. Okay, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you find this video helpful, remember to share with your friends. Remember, sharing is caring. We will really appreciate if we see this video being shared, and we'll be encouraged to make more videos. Remember, we are working on a lot of videos, and we only be encouraged to do so if you see our audience are liking the stuffs we are making. And we are open also to some encouragement in any form, like telling us where we're not doing fine, and also where we should improve, and where we're doing fine. We will be glad, because this platform is just there for you, our audience. If it's not impacting your life positively, then it's not worth it. So if you tell us how we can impact your life positively, then we'll definitely do as wise. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching up to this far. Let's go to next question. Question 19 was as follows. The diagram shows a circuit with a battery of 3 cells of equal voltage connected to 2 resistors. Okay, the diagram shows a circuit with a battery of 3 cells of equal voltage connected to 2 resistors. So we can take time and start the diagram, and this is the diagram that is demonstrated here. You can see the battery and the resistance here, which are 2 ohms and 4 ohms, and we have got the ammeter there. We don't know how many amps. Okay, so that's what we need to bear in mind. Then the actual question is, determine the voltage of one cell in the circuit diagram if the switch is closed and the ammeter reads 2 ohms or 2.0 amps, not ohms, 2.0 amps. Okay, so if the ammeter's reading is 2.0 amps, what will be the voltage of each cell in the battery? Okay, so first of all, we need to come up with a formula for finding voltage when amps and ohms are given. So the formula is voltage is equal to current times resistance. So what is the current? Okay, so the current is given is here in the question, which is the reading, the ammeter reads 2.0 amps. That is the current. Okay, so we're going to write 2.0 amps, then times resistance. So resistance, we are given 2 readings of the resistance, or 2 sizes of resistance, which are resistors, which are 2 ohms and 4 ohms. So what we're going to do is going to say times, open bracket, 2 plus 4 close bracket ohms. Then we say now what we need to do now here is we work out the expression. So we're going to write 2.0 amps times, then we add, if we work what is in the bracket first, 2 plus 4 give us 6, so we have got 6 ohms. So we have an expression which is 2.0 amps times 6 ohms. Now when we multiply 2 by 6 will give us 12, and that will be 12 volts. Okay, so now we have found the volts of the current in the circuit. We have found the volts of the voltage in the current, which is 12 volts. We have found the voltage in the current, which is 12 volts. Now the question is, now let's go back to the question. The question is saying, determine the voltage of one cell in the circuit diagram. So one cell. Then when we go back to the statement, how many cells are in this battery? We are told there are 3 cells there. Okay, there are 3 cells. So what we're going to do now is, if the entire battery releases 12 volts in the circuit, that means how much is one cell releasing? So we say 12 volts divided by 3, which is the number of cells. Then we're going to come up with 4 volts. 4 volts is the voltage one cell is releasing. Okay, it's the voltage of one cell. Okay, so the correct answer is B. Okay, if you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. If you found this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also be kind enough to follow us on Facebook, TikTok. We are found on all these platforms. In fact, there are 4. We have also Instagram, so you can search for us on Instagram as well. We are there. So on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, on these 4 platforms we are found there, so we can revise with you extensively, whichever platform you are using and whichever platform is comfortable with you. Okay, or you are comfortable with, you can also find us on those platforms. So please remember to follow us on these 4 platforms. Okay, question 20 was as follows. A large plastic water tank of weight 1000 Newton is placed on a surface area of 10 meters squared. What is the pressure exerted by the plastic tank on such a surface area? A large plastic water tank of weight 1000 Newton is placed on a surface area of 10 meters squared. What is the pressure exerted by the plastic tank on such a surface area. Okay, so for us to find the pressure exerted on the 10 meter squared area, what we need to do is we need to use this formula, which is pressure is equal to weight over area. Okay, so where there is weight, you can also put force. If force is the weight given, you can use force or weight. Remember, they have the same unit and basically they are the same. Okay, now I've come up with the formula for pressure, which is pressure is equal to weight over area. Okay, I'm using weight because it's the one which is used in the question or statement. So once we have done this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to replace these dimensions by their actual amount, which is weight. We are told weight is 1,000 Newton, so I'm going to write 1,000 Newton like that. Then area we are told is 10 meters squared, so I'm going to write 10 meters squared down there like that. Once I've done that, then I'm going to cancel the 0 down and the 0 on top. I'm starting with a 0 down because I know 10 has got a small number of zeros, so immediately I start with a number which has small zeros. That means immediately I'm done with the zeros with this, which are few. Then that means the ones that will remain, those will remain just like that. Okay, basically that's a hint I can give you in case you're dealing with a number that has got maybe 10 zeros and 5 zeros. So you start with a number which has less zeros compared to the other. Okay, now once I've done this, then we say 1 into 100, 1 into 100, it's going to go 100 times. So I'm going to write 100 times 100, then Newton, since it's on top, this one I'm going to start with, then I'm going to say 100 Newton per meter squared. Meter squared, which is down, is going to come at the far right, okay, or at the end. So the correct answer is 100 Newton per meter squared. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. This is the last question of section A. Please, if you are left behind on any question, please you can ask in the comment section and I'll be great to respond to you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Let's go into section B. Welcome to section B. So section B has got 60 marks. So it has 10 questions. Each question, so when you talk about 10 questions, these are 10 main questions. Okay, then there are sub questions in those 10 questions. So we'll find question 1, A, B, up to, it might be even up to E. So there are 10 questions with the sub questions, and each question carries 6 marks. Okay, each question carries 6 marks. So what you need to do is write all the answers in the space provided in the answer booklet. Okay, so this is what I was even saying earlier on. Your answer should be written in the answer booklet. Even if I'm going to demonstrate writing, even if in this video I'm going to write the answers on the question paper, you should bear in mind that you, during the exams, you should write your answers on the answer booklet. If you write your answers on the question paper, that means you have gotten 0, because markers will focus on the answer booklet and they will mark you absent because no one is going to take time to go through the question paper. And besides, the question paper remains in the school. So what goes to the examinations, to the marking centers, are answer booklet. So if your answers are in the question paper, that means your answers will remain in the school because the question papers will remain in your school. So make sure you write your answers in the answer booklet. Okay, so these are the things you need to pay attention as you write your answers in section B. Okay, let's go and answer the questions. Question 1 of section B was as follows, and it was coming from the topic of the human body. So the question is, the following diagram shows the fetus at 9 months. The following diagram shows the fetus at 9 months. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take time and start the diagram. Now, once we've studied the diagram, before we go to answer the questions, what we need to do first is let's name these parts that are named by letters. Okay, let's identify the actual names of these parts labeled by letters. Okay, so let's start with the one on top coming downwards. So G, that is placenta. G, that is placenta. H, that is uterus. I, that is amniotic fluid. J, that is fetus. K, that is amniotic sac. And L, that is cervix. Okay, that is cervix. So those are the parts that are labeled in those diagrams. Okay, once we have identified these parts, now let's go to the actual questions. So question 1A is as follows. Identify the parts labeled 1, G, 2, I. Okay, so let's start with G. So here it's easier. Already we have identified the parts, so it's just a matter of getting the names and writing there. So G, we identified that is placenta. I, we identified it to be amniotic fluid. So those are the names of those parts. Okay, we come to question 1B, which is explain one function of the structure labeled L during pregnancy. Explain one function of the structure labeled L during pregnancy. Okay, so the function of this part L, which is cervix, is to prevent miscarriage. So the function of cervix is to prevent miscarriage. The other function is when a woman has become pregnant, what will happen to the cervix will close. Okay, it's going to close. So that is the other function, is to close the down part of the uterus. So it closes the down part of the uterus as well. So they want you to give one function. That's why you can even see the one mark there. So that is the one to prevent miscarriage. I hope you can remember this one. Question 1C, which is describe what must happen to the following structures in order for birth to take place. Describe what must happen to the following structures in order for birth to take place. Okay, so 1, K. So what will happen to K? We identify K to be amniotic sac. So what will happen to amniotic sac? So what will happen is it breaks to release amniotic fluid. So before the child is born, the amniotic sac will break and then the amniotic fluid will be released. In other languages, like in local languages, I've heard people say insupayatobeka. That is what they mean. The amniotic sac has broken. Then the amniotic fluid comes out. That is a sign that the birth of the child is near. You will see elder people running around to make sure that they take the pregnant woman to the hospital. Okay, in case they miss the area signs of giving birth, immediately they see that, they'll start running around to take the pregnant woman to the hospital. C2, which is H. So what is H? H is uterus. So what will happen to the uterus? The uterus will start pushing the fetus downwards through contractions. So what will happen is the uterus will start contracting. As it is contracting downwards, it's pushing the baby out. Okay, so the uterus will start contracting, pushing the baby downwards so that the baby can be born. Question 1D is, what is the period in weeks from fertilization to birth? Okay, so here they're asking for gestation period of human beings. So how long does the pregnancy take? We all know that it takes 9 months. So now they want us to give the answer in weeks. So what you do is, we know that in 1 month there are 4 weeks. So we multiply 9 by 4 will give us 36. So in weeks, the period of gestation for human being is 36 weeks. 36 weeks. Okay, so basically those were the answers for question 1. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Otherwise, those are the answers you are supposed to write. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you find this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. Please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram as well. So we are on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So please make sure you follow us on those platforms. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Let's go to the next question. Question 2 was coming from the topic of health, and the question was as follows. The following table shows different types of foodstuffs. So we have got a table here which has got oranges, cassava, meat, milk. So there are 4 foodstuffs there. Then the actual questions are as follows. Question 2A is, from the table, identify the food that is most, 1, suitable for manual worker. Okay, so when we talk about manual workers, we're talking about these people who do hard tasks. Okay, like wheelbarrow pushing, digging a pit, those working in the mine. Okay, those work that needs much of strength. So what kind of food is suitable for such kind of workers? So the correct answer there is cassava. Cassava is a food that belongs in carbohydrate, okay, group. So it gives energy. So those people are doing hard jobs, they need a lot of energy. So among the 4 food mentioned, the food that will be suitable for manual workers is cassava because it gives energy. 2, needed for strong bone formation. So among the 4 food given on top there, the one that is needed for strong bone formation is milk. Milk contains calcium, which helps in building bones. Okay, so that is milk. Among the 4 food given on top there, milk will be suitable for strong bone formation. We come to 2B, which is describe the dietary needs for the following persons. Okay, so what kind of food these people below need to eat? 1, growing baby. Okay, so I'm sure we have all noticed that when the baby is born, is small, very small. But within a period of time, a short period of time, you see the baby grows and become big. Okay, the growth that the baby attains compared to the growth that a full-grown man or a full-grown woman will attain, you see that there is a big difference. Okay, so you see a baby who's born with 2 kg in first as the baby born, or is born with 3 kg. You see that a baby within some few months will gain up to 10 kg, so almost times 5. You see that? So that means for that baby to attain that, that baby needs to eat a diet which is rich in proteins. Proteins are bodybuilding food, okay, or nutrients. These are nutrients that helps the child to grow or a person to grow. So that means a child will need more proteins so that he or she may grow accordingly. Okay, if he lacks these nutrients, proteins, then that means the baby will have a standard growth. He won't grow. Okay, the number of days will increase, but the body stature will be the same. B2, pregnant woman. A pregnant woman has got a fetus in her body that is growing, that needs proteins to grow, like I said earlier on. So also a pregnant woman who need a diet which is rich in proteins. So both the growing baby and the pregnant woman will need the same diet, okay, which is rich in proteins. We come to 2C, which is in which many food group does cassava belong? In which many group does cassava belong? So like I said earlier on, cassava belong in a group called carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. Okay, these are energy-giving foods. Okay, so that is the answer for C, 2C. 2D, explain the importance of making children, explain the importance of taking children under the age of 5 years to children's clinic. Explain the importance of taking children under the age of 5 years to children's clinic. Okay, so the main importance of taking children to under 5 to children's clinic, is the first one is growth monitoring. Okay, we usually take these children to under 5 for growth monitoring. Before anything else comes, is growth monitoring. Whether the child is going to be vaccinated or not, the child has to go to under 5 every month. Why? Because the health personnel want to monitor the growth of the child. If they notice anything that the parents cannot notice because they are not trained as health professionals, then the nurses and the doctors attending to the child might notice and intervene as soon as possible. So the major reason why we take children to under 5 is monitoring their growth. Number 2, to receive vaccination. To receive vaccination. I've given you 2, even if they want 1. In case you forget 1, you can remember 1. So the other reason is to receive vaccination. There is a program already in health centers which the government has put in place where we take children for vaccination. Okay, so that is the other reason, you see, to receive vaccination. Okay, so those are the answers for question 2. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like this video if you found it helpful and share with your friends. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Question 3, which came from the topic of plants and animals, was as follows. The diagrams show plant and animal cells. Okay, so we have got these 2 diagrams here. So what you need to do is you need to pay attention, study them, and also identify the parts. So let's start by identifying the parts that are labeled by letters. Okay, so let's start with M. M is nucleus. N, that is vacuum. O, that is cytoplasm. P, that is cell membrane. Q, that is cell wall. R, that is chloroplast. Those are the parts of the plant cell. Now I come to the animal cell. Animal cell, S is nucleus. T, that is cell membrane. U, that is cytoplasm. That is cytoplasm. Okay, so now we are done naming those parts which are labeled by letters. Now we come to question 3A, which is name one optical instrument used to observe both animal and plant cell. Name one optical instrument used to observe both animal and plant cell. The optical instrument used to observe the cells of animals and plants is microscope. Microscope. Okay, we come to 3B, which is which labeled part is selectively permeable on the which labeled part is selectively permeable on the one plant cell. So now we know that the part which is selectively permeable is cell membrane. So in these two cells, we should just look for a letter that represents cell membrane. So in a plant cell, the letter that represents cell membrane is P. Okay, is P. In the animal cell is T. Okay, T is cell membrane in an animal cell. Okay, I hope you have gotten the idea. So in plant cell, P represents cell membrane, or P is cell membrane. In animal cell, T is cell membrane. Okay, we come to question 3C, which is what is the function of the part labeled R in the plant cell? What is the function of the part labeled R in the plant cell? So the part labeled R is chloroplast. So what is its function? Chloroplast contains chlorophyll. Chloroplast contains chlorophyll. It's the part that is responsible for the green pigment that we see in plants. So what is the function of chloroplast? So the function of chloroplast is to trap light from sunlight. So it's the one that absorbs light from the sunlight. So that is the function of the chloroplast. Okay, we come to question 3D, which is state two differences between a plant and an animal cell. State two differences between a plant and an animal cell. So when we look at these cells, the two cells given, you see that the plant cell has got 6 parts, the animal cell has got 3 parts. So for us to find the two differences, what we need to do is let's identify those parts that are not found in the animal cell. So when we start from M going downwards, we'll find that nucleus is found in both animal cell and plant cell. When we look at vacuole, vacuole is only found in plant cell. So that is the difference already. So we write vacuole. Then we come and check on cytoplasm is found also in animal cell. Cell membrane is also found in animal cell. Cell is only found in plant cell. So it's another difference. Chloroplast is also only found in plant cell. It's another difference. So those are the 3 differences that are in these cells. Okay, animal cell and plant cell. So we come to now to form the differences. So let's use vacuole to form a difference. So since they want 2, I'll give you all the 3. So you can write your difference as follows. Number 1, plant cell has vacuole, where animal cell has no vacuole. We come to cell. Plant cell has cell hole, where animal cell has no cell hole. We come to chloroplast. Chloroplast, we can say plant cell has chloroplast, where animal cell has no chloroplast. So those are the 3 differences. So you can pick 2 from those 3, and those are the ones you can write. Please make sure you choose those that you can remember. I've tried to construct my sentences as simple as possible, but if you have got a better way, please you can write in the comment section. I would also love to learn how I can write these as simple as possible. Otherwise, these were the answers that were supposed to be given on question 3. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you found this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We will really appreciate your support. Okay. Question 4 was as follows. It's a question that was coming from materials and energy, and the question was as follows. The diagram shows an experiment on density. The diagram shows an experiment on density. So what we need to do first is we need to look at the diagram, study it, and understand it. So certain things that you need to pay attention to is the level of waters. Okay, the reading of waters in these 2 experiments. Okay, so we have got the first one, which is here. It is reading 50 mils, yeah, or 50 centimeter cubic, and the second reading is 70 centimeter cubic. Okay, so this, which is reading 70, is after the stone has been lowered into the water. Okay, so now once you have understood this, then you can go to the actual question. So question 4a is as follows. 4a1, what is the volume of the water used in the experiment? So the volume of the water used in the experiment, that is 50 centimeter cubic. I hope you can see it. It's there in the first beaker on the left side. Okay, sorry, in the first measuring cylinder. Okay, then number 2 is saying determine the volume of the stone. Determine the volume of the stone. So to determine the volume of the stone, I'm going to use down here. I hope you can see. Volume of stone is equal to V2 minus V1. So what is volume 2? That is 70 centimeter cubic minus 50 centimeter cubic, which is coming from the first measuring cylinder, which is on the left side. Then when we find the difference of 70 and 50, that is 70 minus 50 will give us 20. So that will be 20 centimeter cubic. So they asked us to determine the volume of the stone. So we have found the volume of the stone to be 20 centimeter cubic. Okay, we go to question 4b, which is explain why the string for lowering the stone in water must be very thin. So the correct answer is the string must be thin so that it has less effect on the volume of water. Okay, so if you use a thin thread, this means that it won't like have an issue of displacing water. Okay, like when you see they put the stone, the volume of water has changed. So if you use a bigger string, that means the volume of water will also change, because that bigger string will need to occupy some space. So that means the water will be displaced and give a rise that would even affect the volume of the stone. The volume of the stone won't be accurate because a certain part of the volume will be from the string. Okay, I hope you have understood. We come to question 4c. Calculate the density of the stone if it had a mass of 60 grams. Show your working. Okay, so again here we'll come down here where we are going to use the space on the right side of the screen. So we're going to say density is equal to mass over volume. So what is the mass? The mass is given in the statement there in the question, which is 60 grams. Then over volume. What is the volume? The volume is the one we found, which is 20 centimeter cubic. So we're going to say over 20 centimeter cubic. So what we do is we are going to divide 60 by 20. Okay, 60 by 20. So we're going to say 20 into 60, it will go 3 times. So we're going to write 3 down here. Now, when it comes to write the units after dividing, you start by writing the unit that is on top. In this case, that is the grams. So you are going to have something like grams per centimeter cubic. Grams per centimeter cubic. And 3 grams per centimeter cubic is the density of the stone. Is the density of the stone. Okay, I hope you have understood. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Otherwise, let's go to question 4D. Apart from the measuring cylinder used in the experiment, what other instrument can be used to measure volume of the stone? Apart from the measuring cylinder used in the experiment, what other instrument can be used to measure volume of the stone? Okay, so you can use Eureka cane or overflow cane. You can use Eureka cane or overflow cane. Okay, so basically these are the answers that examiners expected from the cadence. So if you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you find this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Please, we'll be glad to see your support on these platforms. We also publish educational videos on those platforms. So please, if you haven't understood from here, please you can go and check the videos on Facebook, TikTok. They might be helpful. Okay. Question 5 was coming from the topic of materials and energy, and the question was as follows. The diagram shows a vacuum flask. The diagram shows the vacuum flask. Okay, so this is the flask. We can take time and study the diagram, and we can also name the parts that are labeled by numbers so that we, as we go to the questions, we are ready for the questions. Okay, so let's start with the number 1. What is 1? That is 1 is cork stopper. Cork stopper. 2 is vacuum. 2 is vacuum. 3 is silvered hose or shine hose. So that part is either called, it can either be called silvered hose or silk hose. Okay, then 4, that is vacuum seal. Vacuum seal. Okay, so we can see the way they are liquid. So that means the flask, the vacuum flask, has got also liquid inside it. It might be cold or hot, but let's just know that it has got the liquid in it. We come to question 5a. Identify the part labeled 2 in the diagram. So the part labeled 2 in the diagram is vacuum. Is vacuum. We come to question 5b, which is what method of heat transfer are prevented by parts labeled 1 and 2? What methods of heat transfer are prevented by the parts labeled 1 and 2? So number 1, that is cork stopper. So cork stopper prevent the transfer of heat through conduction and convection. Conduction and convection. 2, that is 2 again. Okay, 2 is vacuum. Okay, vacuum prevents the transfer of heat through conduction and convection. Conduction and convection. Okay, so those are the method of heat transfer that are prevented by 1 and 2. Okay, we come to question C. Which labeled part reduces heat transfer by radiation? Okay, which method of which labeled part reduces heat transfer by radiation? So the correct answer is 3, which is silvered hose or shiny hose. Silvered hose or shiny hose. Okay, silvered hose or shiny hose. I hope at first I didn't say silky, but because that is shiny hose. Okay. D. Write 2 uses of a vacuum flask. 2 uses of vacuum flask. What do we use vacuum flask for? 1, to keep hot liquids hot. So when you put something that is hot in a flask, it will remain hot for a longer period of time compared when it is put hot in a place or somewhere there is no flask. It will get cold fast. 2, to keep cold liquids cold. So if you put something cold in a flask, it will remain cold for a longer period of time. So basically, those are the two uses of a flask. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Otherwise, these are the answers that were supposed to be written by cadets during the exams. Please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we also encourage you to follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Please, we'll be really humbled to see your support also on these platforms. Question 6, that was coming from the topic of human body. The question was as follows. The diagram shows blood circulatory system. The diagram shows blood circulatory system. Okay, so we can take time and study the blood circulatory system. After that, we can name the parts labeled V, W, and X. Okay, so let's start with the part labeled V. V is right auricle or right atrium. Right auricle or right atrium. W, that is right ventricle. That is right ventricle. Then X, that is aorta. X, that is aorta. So the question is, question 6a is as follows. Which labeled part represent the 1 aorta? That is X. X is aorta. 2 right auricle or atrium. That is V. That is V. Okay. We come to question 6b, which is in the answer booklet, label on the diagram the 1 lungs. So lungs are here. Okay, the here is where the lungs are. 2 vena cava. Vena cava is this one here. Okay, I hope you are able to see the arrow that is pointing on the vena cava. Okay, now we come to question 6c. Question 6c is, from the diagram, explain why this blood circulation is sometimes called double circulation. From the diagram, explain why this blood circulation is sometimes called double circulation. So the reason why this circulation is called double circulation is blood passes through the heart twice per circuit or circle. Blood passes through the heart twice through the heart circuit or circle. So the blood will go through the heart twice per each circle. That's why it is called double circulation. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. If the video was helpful, remember to like and share with your friend. And also don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Otherwise, thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, we come to question 7, which was coming from the topic of plants and animals. So the question is as follows. The diagram shows part of the nitrogen circle. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to start the diagram. After we have studied the diagram, then we can also before we answer the questions, name these parts that are labeled Y and Z. Okay, so Y is a process. So a process in which ammonia is obtained from the dead plant is called what? We can call this process, we can call it either ammonification, decomposition, or decay. You can call this process either ammonification, decomposition, or decaying. Okay, so through decaying of a plant, ammonia is formed. Okay, then when ammonia is acted on or upon by bacteria, which is called nitrifying, what will be formed is nitrate. So what will be formed is nitrates. Okay, so these are the parts that we are supposed to name before we start answering the question. So the question is, identify the one substance Z. We found the substance Z as nitrate. Substance Z is nitrates. 2. Process Y. So we named Y as either ammonification or decomposition or decaying. Okay, so if you write ammonification, you will be marked correct. If you write decomposition, you'll be marked correct. If you write decaying, you'll be marked correct as well. Okay, so that process, you can either call it ammonification or decomposition or decaying. We come to question 7b, which is explain the role of nitrogen fixing bacteria. Explain the law of nitrogen fixing bacteria. So the law of nitrogen fixing bacteria is to change nitrogen to nitrates. To change nitrogen to nitrates. Okay, 7c, question 7c is, where in the environment do nitrifying bacteria act on ammonia to produce substance Z, which is nitrate? Okay, where in the environment do nitrifying bacteria act on ammonia to produce substance Z, which is nitrates? So this happens in the soil. In the soil. Okay. Question 7d is as follows. Give one way not shown in the diagram in which animals can also return nitrogen in the soil. Okay. So one way animals can return nitrogen in the soil is 1. Urinating. So urination. So if you find someone or an animal urinates in the soil, that means nitrogen has been returned. Okay. Or defecation. Okay, defecating in the field. Okay, also will promote the returning of nitrogen. We come to question 7e. How is nitrogen from the atmosphere air put into the soil? Okay, so we have nitrogen in the atmosphere. How does it get into the soil? So for nitrogen to get into the soil, there is need to have a lightening. A lightening, like a kalumba. That's what we call in Bemba, a kalumba. In Tongati, Kalabi, something like that. So in Inyanjat Kaleza, yeah, there should be a lightning that will strike, then it will return nitrogen into the soil. It will return nitrogen into the soil. So through lightning. Okay, so these are the answers that examiners expected from cadence to write. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, we will really appreciate your support and we need it. And if you find this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Question 8 was also coming from the topic of plants and animals, and the question was as follows. The diagram shows a plant and conditions necessary for photosynthesis. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take time and study the diagram. Okay, once we have studied the diagram, we should also be able to name the conditions that are labeled 1 up to 3. Okay, so let's start with condition 1, which is we can see the sun there and we can see the rays of light there. We presume those are rays of light. So condition 1, that is sunlight. We come to condition 2. We can look at condition 2, and there is also a arrow pointing to the leaf, that means something is going into the leaf, and what is absorbed through the leaf apart from sunlight, that is carbon dioxide. So condition 2, that is carbon dioxide. Okay, we come to condition 3. Condition 3, we can see the arrow going to the roots, and it's showing something that is being absorbed by the roots, and the roots absorb mainly water, so we can call that one as water. So minerals are dissolved in water. Okay, so we are going to name that condition 3 has water. Then we can also see gas G there, which is being released from the leaf. Okay, so that gas is oxygen. That gas is oxygen. Okay, we can also take note of the part that is labeled as soil there. Is the part that is labeled soil there. Okay, now once we have identified those parts and the conditions, we can go ahead and answer question 8A, or answer the actual questions, and we start with question 8A. Question 8A is as follows. From the diagram, identify the following conditions necessary for photosynthesis. So condition 1, that is sunlight, Condition 2, that is carbon dioxide, and these are very important for photosynthesis. Okay, we come to question 8B, which is photosynthesis produces gas G and a product which remains in the plant. Question 8B1 is identify gas G and the product which remain in the plant. So gas G, as we identified earlier on, that is oxygen, and the product that remains in the plant is, we come to, the product that remains in the plant is starch, or you can write glucose. Starch or glucose, both answers are correct. So the gas is oxygen, gas G is oxygen, and the product that remains in the plant is starch or glucose. Okay, we come to question 8B2, which is if gas G remains in the plant, what will the plant use it for? Okay, so the plant, the gas oxygen remains in the plant. What will it be used for by the plant? It will be used for respiration. During respiration, now I'm sure you know that a plant at night respires. Okay, that's why it's not advisable to sleep with a plant in a home or in a house. What happens is when you sleep with a plant in the house, that means you and the plant will be fighting for oxygen. Okay, the plant is respiring and you are also respiring, so there will be scramble for oxygen in her home. So at night, plants also respire as there is no sunlight to support photosynthesis. Okay, so the correct answer there is respiration. It will be used for respiration. Question 8C is write a word equation on the process of photosynthesis. Write the word equation of the process, or on the process of photosynthesis. So the word equation for photosynthesis is as follows. Carbon dioxide plus water, then carbon dioxide plus water will give us, or is equal to, starch, which is, we can also write glucose, starch or glucose plus oxygen. Okay, starch or glucose plus oxygen. So the product of photosynthesis, when carbon dioxide reacts with water, will give us glucose and oxygen. Okay, now in some instances, and mainly, water will be produced as a byproduct. Water will be produced as a byproduct. Okay, so that is the equation that is acceptable at the level of grade 9. That is, carbon dioxide plus water will give us starch or glucose plus oxygen. Okay, so we can either remove starch and remain with glucose, the answer will be acceptable. You can remove glucose and remain with starch, the answer will be acceptable. So that is the word equation for photosynthesis. Okay, if you found this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we are down on our knees asking you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also ask you to follow us on on platforms that are on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We are found on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. We will really appreciate your support. Otherwise, these are the answers that the examiner is expected from you, cadets. Let's go to the next question. Question 9, which came from the topic of materials and energy. The question was, the diagram demonstrates two types of chemical reactions. Okay, so we need to pay attention and look at the two reactions. So we have got reaction 1 and reaction 2. Okay, so in reaction 1 we can see brown copper powder, water, Bunsen burner, and in experiment. In reaction 2 we can see gas J, gas K, test tube, graphite rod, rubber stopper. Then we have also acidified water, cathode, anode, switch. We have got 6 volts battery, and we have got gas K there on top. So before we go any further and answer the questions, so when you look at the diagram, we can see that the other side we have it's connected cathode, and we have also anode there, and then we have got gas J. Okay, so we identify gas J that is oxygen, gas K that is hydrogen. Okay, gas K that is hydrogen. Okay, after identify those parts and we have written them, we can go now to the actual questions. So the question 9A is, identify gas J and K in reaction 2. So in reaction 2, they want us to identify gas J and K. So let's start with gas J. Gas J, we said that is oxygen, and gas K, that is hydrogen. Okay, so those are the names of the two gases there on top. We come to question B, which is, after heating the brown copper powder changes into a black powder. Okay, now question 9B1 is, identify the black powder. So the black powder is called copper 2 oxide. Copper 2 oxide. However, you can write it as copper oxide will be accepted, as well as you write the chemical formula, which is CuO for copper oxide. Okay, CuO as the answer will also be accepted. So these are the answers. So copper 2 oxide, you can also write copper oxide or the chemical symbol for copper 2 oxide, which is CO. Okay, we come to 9B2, which is, write a word equation which resulted in the formation of the black powder. So the word equation is copper plus oxygen gives us copper oxide. So when copper reacts with oxygen, it will give us copper oxide. Okay, so that is the word equation. We come to 9C, which is what type of chemical reaction is demonstrated in? What type of chemical reaction is demonstrated in C1 reaction 1? Okay, the formation of copper oxide. Two elements, they form one element. That is synthesis. Synthesis. Okay, reaction, that is synthesis reaction. We come to reaction 2, where hydrogen and oxygen is formed. That is decomposition reaction. That is decomposition reaction. Okay, so basically those are the answers that the examiner is expected from you. If you have got questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. And if you found this video helpful, remember to like and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Question 10, which was coming from the topic of materials and energy, was as follows. Okay, the question that comes from materials and energy was as follows. The diagrams show an experiment on pressure in two similar glass cylinders, both containing equal molecules of the same gas. The cylinders are covered by airtight adjustable lids. Okay, so we can take time and look at the diagrams, and we are able to see the adjustable lid, gas molecules, cylinder L and cylinder M. Then we have got adjustable lid there. Okay, now we come to the actual question, which is what difference can be observed about the molecules and their environment in two similar cylinders. Okay, so here when you look at cylinder L, the adjustable lid is on top a bit, leaving a lot of space down, and the one which is on the right side, which is cylinder M, the adjustable lid has been lowered, leaving the small space down there. Okay, so what difference can we deduce from here? So here we can say gas molecules in cylinder L are scattered apart, while gas molecules in cylinder M are closely packed. Okay, are closely packed together. Okay, so that is one observation that we can make. We can see that molecules in M, they are closely packed, but in L, they are scattered. Okay, we come to question 10b. In which cylinder are the gas molecules under high pressure? Okay, in which cylinder are gas molecules are under high pressure? So you can see that these, they are closely packed. That means there is pressure for them to be squeezed like that. So which means in M, that's where there is the molecules are under high pressure. Okay, they are under higher pressure. Okay, we come to question 10b2. Give a reason for your answer in B1. Okay, so why are they under pressure? Because the volume has been reduced. Despite having the same volume or the same number of molecules, where these molecules in M are put, the volume has been reduced. As you can see, they are just in a small volume compared to cylinder L. So they are compressed because they are in a small volume. Okay, the area where they are, the area which they are, the molecules are occupying is small. Okay, we come to 10c. State the formula for calculating pressure. Okay, so to calculate pressure, we use the formula which is pressure is equal to force over area. Force over area, that is the formula. Okay, we come to question 10d. State one example of uses of air pressure in everyday life. Uses of air pressure in everyday life. Okay, so let's say we use air pressure to like if you have a balloon and you want to inflate it. It will, for it to come, you blow air in it, then it expands, isn't it? So use the balloon. Then we also use air pressure in vehicles or motorbike or bicycles. Okay, I'm sure most of the people have got bicycles compared to those who have vehicles. If the tires, they have no air, you can't use the bicycle. until you put air in the tire, then you can use the bicycle. So we use air pressure in bicycles. So they just want one. I've given you two. We use air in balloons and air in bicycle tires, okay, or vehicle tires or motorbike tires. Okay, we use air pressure in those areas. Okay, so if you are lost, you can ask questions. We come to question 10E, which is, apart from the factors demonstrated in the experiment, state the one other factor that affects pressure. Okay, state one other factor that affects pressure. The other factor that affects pressure is temperature. Okay, temperature affects pressure. Okay,